The HOA president illegally filled in a natural drainage creek behind our homes because she wanted to expand her award-winning rose garden. I warned her. I told her I was a civil engineer and explained that water always finds a way. She laughed in my face and told me to mind my own business. She honestly believed she could rewrite the laws of physics. So I didn't sue her. Instead, I built a reinforced concrete retaining wall directly on my property line. And tonight, during the biggest storm of the decade, that rainwater had only one place left to go, straight through her sliding glass doors. My name is Alex. By profession, I'm a civil engineer. My entire career revolves around water behavior, drainage systems, and structural failure points. I know one unbreakable rule of nature. Water always wins. When I bought my house, one of the selling points was a natural drainage creek, a shallow swale that ran between my property and the homes behind me. For 11 months of the year, it stayed dry. But during heavy storms, it became a highway for rainwater, safely carrying runoff away from our homes and into the municipal retention pond. It was a perfectly designed system until Linda decided she needed more land. Linda is our HOA president. She is obsessed with her garden. She wins Yard of the Month every single month, mostly because she's the one counting the votes. 2 weeks ago, I woke up to the sound of heavy machinery. I looked out my back window and saw dump trucks unloading tons of dirt and rock directly into the natural creek bed. I ran outside. "Linda, what are you doing?" She stood there holding blueprints, smiling like she just conquered something. "Oh, hello, Alex. I decided this ditch was ugly and wasted space. I'm filling it in. I'm extending my rose garden all the way to your fence line." My jaw dropped. "Linda, you can't do that. That's a natural waterway. It's a drainage easement. If you block it, where do you think the water will go when it rains?" She waved her hand dismissively. "Don't be dramatic. It barely rains here. And if there's a little runoff, it can flow into your yard. You only have grass anyway." She had just openly admitted her plan to flood my property to protect hers. I tried doing things the right way. I filed a formal complaint with the HOA board. Unfortunately, Linda is the board, so my complaint mysteriously vanished. 3 days later, we had a light rain shower. Exactly as I predicted, the water flowed downhill, hit our freshly packed dirt wall, and diverted sideways, straight into my backyard. My lawn turned into a swamp. I marched over to her fence. "Look at this, Linda. This was a light rain, and my yard is already flooding." She smirked. "Buy some rain boots, Alex. My roses look amazing, don't they?" I took a deep breath and gave her one final professional warning. I pulled up the weather forecast on my phone. "Linda, listen carefully. There's a massive storm coming this weekend. They're predicting 5 inches of rain in 24 hours. That dirt pile you built is going to act like a dam. If you don't clear the creek bed now, this will turn into a disaster." She laughed. "Are you trying to scare me? My land is elevated now. I'm safe. Worry about your own house, Mr. Engineer." Then she turned her back on me. In that moment, she sealed her fate. I knew arguing was useless. I had 48 hours before the storm hit, and I had one priority: protecting my home. I went straight to the industrial supply store and ordered pallets of cinder blocks, rebar, and fast-setting marine-grade concrete. I called 2 friends from my construction crew. We worked nonstop. We didn't build a pretty fence. We built a hydraulic diversion wall. We dug a trench along my property line, exactly where the water was spilling over from her yard. We poured a solid, reinforced concrete wall 3 feet high, anchored deep into the ground. I also regraded my side to create a reverse slope. If water hit that wall, it wouldn't just stop. It would be redirected back to where it came from. Linda watched from her window, sipping tea. At one point, she came outside and shouted, "That wall is hideous. It violates HOA aesthetics. I'm fining you $500 a day until it's removed." I ignored her. The wall wasn't pretty, but it was waterproof. Saturday night, the storm arrived. It wasn't rain, it was a deluge. The sky opened up. Thunder rattled the windows. At 2 in the morning, I woke up to the sound of rushing water. It sounded like a river tearing through the neighborhood. I grabbed a high-powered flashlight and stepped onto my covered back porch. The sight was terrifyingly beautiful. Millions of gallons of water rushed downhill, slamming into the area where the creek once flowed. It hit Linda's rose garden and her dirt dam. The water tried to push through, but the soil was packed too tightly. Physics took control. The water searched the path of least resistance. It turned left, aiming directly for my house. Wham! The floodwater slammed into my new concrete wall. It held. Not a single drop crossed over. The water churned, trapped and furious. Hydraulic pressure built instantly. With nowhere else to go, the water pushed backward. I aimed my flashlight toward Linda's house. Her filled-in creek had turned her yard into a bowl, and her home sat right in the center. Her beautiful rose garden was already submerged. The water rose to her patio. Then it reached her sliding glass doors. I heard a scream over the thunder. Lights flickered on inside her living room. I saw Linda standing behind the glass, hands pressed to her face in disbelief. The pressure outside was greater than inside. Crack! The seal failed. Muddy, debris-filled floodwater exploded into her living room. I watched as her Persian rugs, white sofas, and yard of the month trophy floated past a window. She stood waist-deep in water, sobbing. I stood on my porch, completely dry, sipping tea. My ugly wall had done its job. By morning, the storm was gone. The fire department arrived with pumps to drain her house. The damage was catastrophic. Ruined floors, destroyed drywall, fried electrical systems, and soaked furniture. The estimate topped $150,000. But the best moment came when the insurance adjuster arrived. I handed him the photos of Linda filling in the creek. I explained that she had intentionally blocked a natural drainage easement. He studied the evidence, looked at the damage, and closed his notebook. "Ma'am," he said, "flooding caused by illegal landscaping modifications is not covered by your policy, and blocking a drainage easement is a state violation." The conclusion was brutal. Insurance denied the claim. Linda paid for everything out of pocket. The State Water Authority fined her $10,000 and ordered immediate restoration of the creek. She resigned as HOA president in disgrace. My concrete wall still stands. I painted it green so it blends in, but every time I see it, I smile. It's a monument to a simple truth. You can't fight physics, and you should never fight an engineer. Linda learned the hard way that when you dig a grave for your neighbor, you usually end up falling into it yourself. If you enjoyed this flood revenge, hit that like button to keep us afloat, and subscribe, because in the next video, we're exposing a neighbor who tried to sue me for cooking barbecue in my own backyard.